Hello everyone, welcome to Money Monday episode 2. I'm really excited because I like the concept of this topic. I am very interested in financial management and more than you can understand. If I could, I could ramble on about anything to do with finance all day. Anyway, back to the point. Today I'm going to explain the concept of money and why it was created and why it was important to know. And I learned my lesson. You'll see why in a second. Why I've been taking so long to explain this, you'll see why, and then I've come up with a solution bred from me not being lazy. So, first of all, money, the obvious and literal explanation is the currency, the coins and the bills and the way, whatever, cash, etc. On top of that, the financial value of your bank account and your investments and all that, that's money in a sense too. Whatever you're at, yeah. So like the numbers in your bank account, that's money because you can use a card electronically to transfer the funds to make a purchase. So that's the literal one. Now the conceptual, philosophical, so to speak, version, which is more important because you'll see why you need to know this. Money is actually anything with a perceived value. And to understand what I mean, I'll explain why money was created in the most childish sense, the most childish way I can possibly show you. First of all, what does that mean, anything with a perceived value? That means we actually give money its value based on what we spend. So money in itself, those bills, whatever, those are actually worthless. The only time they have value is when we make a purchase with them, and we're giving them the money itself, its value based on what we're purchasing. And in turn, we're actually giving the item we're purchasing a value as well. So, how money, and why do we do that? And why does the paper itself have no value? Well, because money is actually just a promise. That thing, that note, it's just a promise. And let me explain. So back in sometime in the past, we didn't have money, so we had to rely on trading. So I'll give you this very basic drawing. So here we go. Very high tech, by the way. My channel's very high tech. I just want to point that out. I hope this shows properly. So when you trade, you need a coincidence of wants. So you have your Mr. Fisherman here. And he's like, I need wood because I'm building a house. And it's Friday. This is an important, not really, but it's important. It's a Friday. Fisherman say, I'll do it in a voice. Fisherman say, I need the wood because I'm gonna build the cottage. Because he wanna go to the lake. He wants to go to the lake to fish more. So he build the cottage close to the lake. The lumberjack say, okay, I give you the wood. You give me the fish because today Friday and I gotta eat the fish on Friday. So that's called a coincidence of wants. Look at his beard. It's awesome. It's called the coincidence of wants. They both wanted the same thing. They needed the same thing at the same time. Okay, so that's Friday. So what happens when that doesn't occur? Let's go to Saturday. Dun dun. So on Saturday, there is no coincidence of wants. Why? Because the lumberjack is like, I had the fish yesterday. It's a Saturday. I want to make a barbecue. I want meat today. He's like, I still need more wood for my cottage though. I still need the more wood for the cottage. I'm not finished. And then this guy, the butcher, he's like, I want fish. I don't want wood. Right? Because remember, the lumberjack's like, I want I want meat today. Well, how is he going to trade? So Mr. Fisherman says, you know what? Let me tell you something. I have an idea. So he writes a promissory note. Today, in today's world, it's literally some kind of dollar bill or something, right? But back then, let's just say, this is a promise for, you want meat, right? He'll say, you want meat, right? And I need the wood, but you don't want the fish. So I'll give you this promise that this wood will, this wood will give you this much fish. And I know Joe the butcher, he wants fish. He doesn't want wood. So give him this note. You can go get the meat. You give him this note. You can go buy the meat with it now. You can trade it for the meat. He'll take the note because he wants fish, and he'll come to me, and then I'll give him the fish. So you see what happened there? This note basically became a middleman for this trade. It's a three-way trade. Now, in like a common sense, it's like, why didn't they just all get together and trade at the same time? That's not the point. This is just to understand. Or if, let's say, okay, you don't want fish right now, but you have a lot of wood. You could wait till next Friday and then give me this note back, and I'll just give you the fish for no wood. Or whenever you need fish again, I'll just give you the fish. Same thing. But either way, this note became a thing for this guy to either he could go get fish later, which was probably makes, if I explained this better, that would have been the original scenario. But let's stick with this. So he could either go back and get fish later when he didn't want fish with this note, or he could say to this guy, hey, you know what? I want meat today. You want fish right now. Here, take the note. Go to Jack over here and give him this note that he gave me, and he'll give you the fish. And boom, that's what money is. So the only reason this piece of paper, this promise, had any value is because they all had something the other wanted or needed or valued. If he had just wrote that note and nobody needed fish, if he just said, I promise to give you fish, and nobody needed the fish, that paper would be a piece of paper that said, I promise to give fish, and that's all it would be. No one cares. Then that's it. Why is that important? Because just like how it has no value at any given time, or it has value based on what it's needed at any time, it also changes in value over time. The value of money actually, per dollar, the value of money decreases over time because prices go up over time. So $1 could buy you so much at one time, but the price of this keeps going up. How much can it buy you now? Right? Money is a funny thing. The concept of a $5 bill, for example, or a loonie. Let's say a $5 bill. What is $5? It is whatever it could buy you at the time that it is. So at one time, maybe $5 was like a decent, like, you know, it was never like, probably never an insane amount of money, but it probably could buy you a lot more in terms of, like, let's say groceries or something at one point. Then now I go to a grocery store, I'm lucky if it's under $20. And I don't buy a lot of groceries each time I go. I just buy a handful of things, right? But I'm sure at one point, you know, I could have bought, like, especially like fruits and vegetables, like a lot of those, agriculture and meat and that kind of stuff. Inflation. I'll talk about inflation at another time. But that's why it's important to understand, because when you're saving money, you got to factor these things in. All these things in terms of what money's worth. I'm not trying to be like, oh, money's actually worthless. I'm, you know, conceptual being, and I'm not trying to be existential or any of that. I'm just trying to put a framework in the mind of why it has its value. The paper itself is worthless. The concept of money is worthless. The fact that it can buy things is what gives it its value. And that value changes over time. It changes on people's life situations. It changes the value of $20 changes based on how much money a person has. So if a person has $20 million, his value of a $20 is a million times less than someone with $1, so to speak. Like, oh, it's only $20, so I lost $20. It's a 20 million, like a millionaire, right? But someone who has like $1, it's like $20 will be like, oh wow, I think I got the point. So that is the concept of money. That is how kind of the situation, that's not historically accurate, obviously. But that's the situation that arose when that's what the purpose of money was, and that's why it was created and what it served. And yeah, just remember it's all based on the value you give it. All right, so that's thank you for watching episode number 2. Like our money and this quest, let's keep growing together. And I'll see you guys this week, next week, or whatever. But have a great day. Take care. Bye.